Paul Wellstone is one of the most remarkable people I've ever met. He was a person who was a true believer. He was very progressive. He was a liberal. And he did not let any of his beliefs be tempered in any way with how it would affect him personally. He did what he thought was right. He loved people who were behind the scenes, the janitors, the people that cooked the food. I said about Paul Wellstone yesterday, you don't always have to win things to be a winner. A lot of things that he advocated, he didn't win, but in the process became a winner. That tragic airplane crash was a terrible loss to the state of Minnesota, but a bigger loss to our country. Dana Perino doesn't know what she's talking about. This is a bipartisan bill. 69 votes we got. Lots of Republican support, conservative Republican support, Grassley and Hatch. It's a bill that is not a waste of time. It covers 10 million children who have the ability to go to a hospital when they're hurt or sick. It allows them to go see a doctor. It's one of the best pieces of legislation. It's been in existence for 10 years. Who were the original sponsors of this? Ted Kennedy and the ultra-liberal Orrin Hatch. That's the basis of this bill. And for the president to complain about socialized medicine, which it doesn't in any way have socialized medicine, it's a program for children that fall between the cracks. They're not eligible for Medicaid, their parents make too much money. You know, sometimes they may make as much as $40,000 a year. Isn't that outrageous? I'm being facetious. Insurance costs $18,000 a year. This allows these children of these parents who make $40,000 a year, work every day, to be able to take their kids to the doctor when they're sick. That's what this all is all about. And I'm disappointed and confused by what the president's talking about. Well, we have a real problem the president hasn't addressed at all, and that is health care for 47 million Americans who have no health insurance. This is an issue trying to cover children, and we've been doing that for 10 years. What the president is talking about is doing away with 10 million kids being able to go to the doctor when they're sick. I can't understand why he could possibly do this. Republicans are heavily involved in it. This is something the president is doing for reasons even his own advisors don't understand. The money that we're going to spend to take care of 10 million children does not increase the debt 1 cent. It's paid for. Much different than the $200 billion plus the president's requiring or seeking a requirement from us. $200 billion, adding $200 billion of more borrowed money to the intractable civil war in Iraq. He's not going to get a blank check on that. That is for sure. That is for sure. We've had no cooperation from the president in any of our spending bills. We've had to do it on our own. These passed on a bipartisan basis. For example, the one we just completed that the president is trying to take money away for medical research at the National Institutes of Health, trying to take away police officers being on the street, trying to hurt our education programs. These bills are paid for, not a penny in red ink. Everything the president spends money on is red ink. The war in Iraq, the tax cuts is all borrowed money. That's a shame. And so the president complained about our not moving these bills more quickly enough. If he got us out of Iraq, we'd be finished with these bills a long time ago. The worst foreign policy blunder in the history of our country, the invasion of Iraq, has destabilized that whole area. There is a civil war going on in Israel between the Palestinians. There is in effect a civil war going on in Lebanon. And in Iran, they're thumbing their nose at us, causing lots of trouble. And in Iraq itself, a very, very long-term civil war we find ourselves in the middle of. This war has destabilized not only the region, but the whole world.